3, 2, 1, para. The government would support the development of a world-class fintech hub at the GIFT-IFSC. To instill confidence among the participants in the corporate bond market during times of stress and to generally enhance secondary market liquidity, it is proposed to create a permanent institutional framework. The proposed body would purchase investment grade debt, securities both in stressed and normal times, and help in the government of the bond market. In the budget of 2018-19, government had announced its intent to establish a system of regulated gold exchanges in the country. For the purpose, SEBI will be notified as the regulator and warehousing development and regulatory authority will be strengthened to set up a commodity market ecosystem arrangement including vaulting, assaying, logistics, etc. in addition to warehousing para. Towards investor protection, I propose to introduce an investor charter as a right of all financial investors across all financial products. To give a further boost to the non-conventional energy sector, I propose to provide additional capital infusion of Rs 1000 crores to Solar Energy Corporation of India and Rs 1500 crores to Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. I propose to amend the Insurance Act 1938 to increase the permissible FDI limit from 49% to 74% in insurance companies and allow foreign ownership and control with safeguards. Under the new structure, the majority of directors on the board and key management persons would be resident Indians, with at least 50% of directors being independent directors and specified percentage of profits being retained as general reserve para. The high level of provisioning by public sector banks of their stressed assets calls for measures to clean up the bank books. An asset reconstruction company limited and asset management company would be set up to consolidate and take over the existing stressed debt and then manage and dispose of the assets to alternate investment funds and other potential investors for eventual value realization. To further consolidate the financial capacity of PSBs, further recapitalization of Rs 20,000 crores is proposed in 2021-22. Last year, government had approved an increase in the deposit insurance cover from Rs 1 lakh to Rs 5 lakhs for bank customers. I shall be moving amendments to the DICGC Act 1961 in this session itself to streamline the provisions so that if a bank is temporarily unable to fulfill its obligations, the depositors of such a bank can get easy and time-bound access to their deposits to the extent of the deposit insurance cover. This would help depositors of banks that are currently under stress. Para. To improve credit discipline while continuing to protect the interest of small borrowers for NBFCs with minimum asset size of rupees 100 crores, the minimum loan size eligible for debt recovery under the Scrutinization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest Act 2002 is proposed to be reduced from the existing level of rupees 50 lakhs to rupees 20 lakhs. The decriminalizing of the procedural and technical compoundable offences under the Companies Act 2013 is now complete. I now propose to next take up decriminalization of the LLP Act 2008. Para. In any case, PW2 stated that this sum was a cash loan asked for buying the plot. Thus, a loan may have been sought by the accused which could not be given. But there is nothing to show that the deceased was harassed on this count in the matrimonial home. In the face of such material, it is difficult to conclude that S. Kaur was pushed to commit suicide by the circumstances or atmosphere created by the appellant. Para. Insofar as the possible reason for a young married lady with 2 minor children committing suicide, in the absence of evidence, conjectures cannot be drawn that she was pushed to take her life by the circumstances and atmosphere in the matrimonial home. What might have been the level of expectation of the deceased from her husband and in-laws, and the degree of her frustration, if any, is not found through any evidence on record. More significantly, willful negligence by the husband could not be shown by the prosecution. Para. It must also be noted that both children born to deceased are being brought up by the appellant's family ever since the death of the mother on 12/8/1997. The maternal grandparents, even while pointing fingers against the accused, never raised any issue on their grandchildren being brought up in the home where their daughter died an unnatural death. The definition quoted above makes it clear that whenever a person instigates or intentionally aids by any act or illegal omission the doing of a thing, a person can be said to have abetted in doing that thing. Para. As in all crimes, mens rea has to be established. To prove the offence of abatement, as specified under Section 107 of the IPC, the state of mind to commit a particular crime must be visible. To determine the culpability, in order to prove mens rea, there has to be something on record to establish or show that the appellant herein had a guilty mind, and in furtherance of that state of mind abated the suicide of the deceased. Para. The ingredient of mens rea cannot be assumed to be ostensibly present but has to be visible and conspicuous. However, what transpires in the present matter is that both the trial court as well as the High Court never examined whether appellant had the mens rea for the crime he is held to have committed. Para. The conviction of appellant by the trial court as well as the High Court on the theory that the woman with 2 young kids might have committed suicide, possibly because of the harassment faced by her in the matrimonial house, is not at all borne out by the evidence in the case. Testimonies of the PWs do not show that the wife was unhappy because of the appellant and she was forced to take such a step on this account. Para. While dealing with a case of abatement of suicide in Amalendu Pal alias Jantu versus State of West Bengal, Dr. Justice M.K. Sharma, writing for the division bench, explained the parameters of Section 306 IPC in the following terms.